One of my biggest regrets as a DM was when I TPK'd my party. And it wasn't so much the what, but more like the how. It all started about 2 years ago when me and a couple other people who were Critical Role fans wanted to run this epic campaign that existed in the world, where we can see the likes of Vox Machina and the Maya Nine run around in the world and interact with our characters. So one of the things I did was I brought three of the Critical Role books together, which was Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, Tadora Reborn, and Call the Netherdeep. And my starter was going to be a starter adventure from Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. And then when the adventure began, that's where things started to take a turn. So as they're navigating the swamp, they come into the first few encounters. One of them being an encounter with a group of lizard folk cultists that's found in a boneyard. Originally planned for this encounter to be a very small skirmish, getting so that they can know their characters, their abilities, and kind of figure out how to fight as a team. But they hit a lot harder than I thought they were, and needed them, but they've struggled. They decided to take a short rest. It's really hard to find where they are right now. The water level is up to their torsos, and it's really hard for them to find dry land. With a successful survival check, they were able to find a dry spot for them to camp and spend the night. What happens next ends up changing the course of the entire campaign and serves as a constant nagging reminder in my mind as a DM. So as they're taking the long rest, they are taking watch, they're taking turns. We have a ranger out in the trees that's standing watch. And as they're camping, they are ambushed by a group of wandering kobolds. And the ranger spots this, but before he can actually act and wake up his party members, they're able to successfully surprise the party and get a free surprise round. And it's not good. I had the intention of trying to play the monsters as close as possible, making sure that they're ruthless, and wanted to make the fights really intense. So for the monsters, if they down you and you're on the ground, they're going to finish you, and they're going to make sure to do this as quickly as possible. And that's what happened. The wizard goes down first, has a failed death saving throw. The enemy attacks. Goodbye, wizard. Same thing with the rogue. A couple turns later, they're gone, and the ranger makes a run for it. And I was so frustrated because I felt so bad. Over our mics, you just hear silence. And it's a weird kind of tension hanging in the air. And I'm like, hey, I want this encounter to be free and intense, but I didn't want it to destroy the game. I didn't want it to ruin these players' experiences. What made it even worse, instead of just letting the ranger escape and then going on to find their new characters captive and rescue them, and then still kind of have that tone of this is a very intense game and they're going to be very careful, and the ranger gets to tell what happened, I decided, against my best judgment, that it was all a dream. It was all a dream, and none of this happened. The ranger took a little nap in the tree and was like, oh, that's weird. And they continue on like nothing. So that moment lived on from the moment that happened, and it carried through the entire campaign until they defeated the big bad evil guy. And it was something I would never do ever again. So, in the words of wiser dungeon masters than me, let the dice lie where they may. And that's it. If you found this story helpful, this cautionary tale, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow the channel. And yeah, share a story with me. Was there a time where you messed up in your game, or something that you did in the game that you regretted that ended up having this ripple effect across the campaign? Let me know. And until next time, thanks and happy gaming.